about it? Welcome back into First Take as we honor the legacy of the great Martin Luther King Jr. today. Molly Karam, joined by Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman, and Will Kane. Will, before we get to you, Stephen A., what can we expect in the second hour?
The second hour, Trump made news. Our president-elect, Trump made news again. Whether it's for the right reasons or the wrong reasons is something that's open for discussion. But Steve Harvey and D.L. Hughley and people like that were involved, and I'm going to tell you how this could relate to the world of sports and say something that I think is time to be said.
Okay.
Is Tony Romo's, are his days done, not just for the Dallas Cowboys, but as a starting quarterback in the NFL? That's the question.
Hi, Will. Do you want to save the pleasantries and just get into it?
I don't see any need for small talk.
Okay,
There's
good
nothing
to see
pleasant
you.
for him right now.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Don't you touch me. Don't you do it. Don't you. I'm going to cut you. I'll cut you.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Cute.
Don't do it, buddy.
Cute.
I just want you to know, I feel your pain.
Get off of me.
I do. I do, man. I want y'all to know, the Will Kanes of the world,
If there was a hug.
people like that. Hold on. You want some?
All right.
What's the line of the
Cowboys
song?
came
They
back
let you
from
down?
being down 18 points to tie it, but it wasn't enough.
Some
You
way, some-
can't leave 35 seconds on the clock with this man, Aaron Rodgers, at the helm as Green Bay went on to win 34-31. So we asked you guys on Twitter earlier in the show if the Cowboys season was a failure, and the results are in 54% saying it is not a failure. Will, was it?
Was the Cowboys,
Was the Cowboys season
a
failure?
First of all, can I say something? I have no game plan.
Okay.
None. I have no idea what's going to come out of my mouth.
Okay.
Like the Cowboys.
In the next
Stream
30
of
seconds.
consciousness. We want to
Yes,
hear it.
Max. Not unlike Jason Garrett,
That's
who
right.
didn't run the ball 30 times like they need. I literally don't know what I'm going to say in the next minute.
Just go. The floor is yours.
Well, who knows where this could go, Molly? Can I just tell you this? The only thing I do know is this. You have embarrassed yourself in such a short amount of time. All I know is this. This is what fans do. We grieve. We celebrate. We go through it together. We hurt together. We love together. We don't ever show up the day after your team wins. Who won the Steelers-Chiefs game? Who won it? I couldn't.
Steelers.
You would never, under any circumstances, show up the day after your team wins in another man's jersey.
Right.
You are a sports bigamist.
Yeah.
You have selected team after team. Maybe it's the color yellow. I think maybe it's Steelers, Packers. Well, then there's the Giants, though. I forget sometimes there's the Giants in your equation, too. You, my friend, have lost all credibility.
Okay.
All credibility.
Right.
Only rivaled by your friend over here who told me about 10 minutes ago that the Giants had a better season than the Cowboys.
Right.
The 11-5 Giants who lost in the wild card
I'll prove it
race
to you in a minute.
had a better season than the divisional.
So after that devastating loss by the Cowboys last night, that's the best you could come up with?
I don't know, Steve. Give me another minute.
I
don't know what's gonna take next.
I want to
Somehow,
know how angry you were
they
about
will
that
let
play
you
call.
down.
Damn.
I'm incredibly angry about the play calling.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I've watched
Why
the
did you
show.
abandon?
God
Why
help
did you
me,
guys
I watched
abandon
the
your
show.
normal game plan?
I don't know, Molly. Gil Brandt tweeted this last week. Teams in the playoffs that have a rusher that rushes the ball 30 times or more, this is no small number, are 37-0. Ezekiel Elliott was carving up the Packers defense, averaging 6 yards a carry. Give the man the ball twice and it's a first down. Just do that over and over and over until they stop it. We gave it to him 22 times.
What's crazy, too, is they would stop Zeke, and he, like, a bad run for him was like 4 to 6 yards.
Yes.
When he would get contacted, and somehow he would just fall forward 4 or 5 yards. They could not stop Ezekiel
Let me tell you,
Elliott.
I don't know. Stephen A. may think I'm used to being this way. You've been this loser. See, should I be gracious? Should I be mad? I don't know. I don't know. All I know is this. I'm going to give Aaron Rodgers the credit. He is a bad man. There is no question. You said last week, I said Aaron Rodgers had to be perfect for them to win. You said he had to be more than perfect and could be more than perfect. He was. He was magical. There's some kind of black magic going on in Green Bay. The guy's eyes never change. He looks like a serial killer calm at all times. That's Gordon Keith's line, but it is amazing, and he was. Aaron Rodgers was amazing, but if Jason Garrett and Scott Linehan run the ball 30 times, Aaron Rodgers is on the field less. There's not 30 seconds for Aaron Rodgers to work that magic and have that 36-yard incredible pass. Those things don't happen if Ezekiel Elliott carries the ball 30 times or more.
Well, what I tried to explain to you on many, many occasions, but being hard-headed, biased, and hiding behind fandom to excuse your ignorance led you to continuously do was ignore the words of wisdom that I tried to espouse upon you. What I have repeatedly said to you and Cowboy fans everywhere, I said, it's not about the other team. It's not about just the other players. It's about the fact that the Cowboys would do something to mess up.
Why are you wearing that jersey?
Because,
why aren't you wearing a Jason Garrett jersey?
Because here's what. Well, actually, we didn't have the Jason Garrett jersey. I would have preferred to wear that. But this was apropos because Aaron Rodgers stuck such daggers in your heart that was appropriate for me to wear. And considering the fact that I'm the one that calls him the bad man that he is, it's definitely apropos for me to put on an Aaron Rodgers jersey. But I also want to point out this. This is once again what I had said. Dallas Cowboys are allergic to prosperity. What they do is they steal headlines. They put themselves in positions to get all the notoriety. And right when hope transforms into expectation and you anticipate instead of pray, what happens is they ruin everything for you. They let you down. This is why you yourself come up with your weak excuses, point something at me, calling Max names and all of this other stuff. It's why you decided to go behind and come and enter the set on from a different angle. It was just hurting you to walk by. It's why you have found yourself devoid of any substantive words to explain what has happened. Your Cowboys let you down because you got caught up in the sauce. You got caught hook, line, and sinker, believing that somehow, some way, a Dak Prescott, an Ezekiel Elliott, that offensive line, a Des Bryant, everything would come together, and you thought y'all were going to win the Super Bowl. Not only did I tell you that the Dallas Cowboys would lose, I told you they wouldn't win a playoff game. That is what I said, and that is what has happened.
What was the question?
Once again.
Was the season a failure?
Okay.
Yes, it was a failure.
Okay, well, I don't know. Was the season a failure? You have two.
You guys feel good about yourselves, right?
Yes.
You
have two
MVP.
You have two MVP candidates. Two MVP candidates. You have the best offensive line in football. Mm-hmm. You have, according to sources, Will Kane, an extremely underrated defense. You're playing at home, and you don't win a single playoff game. Is that a failure? Is there a word in any language that you could think of? No, failure is the word. Now, as far as the Giants and the Cowboys go,
here we go.
Which team would you rather be? You play in the same division, you both make the playoffs, you both lose to the same team. Neither one of you wins a playoff game. One loses on the road, the other, who are Super Bowl favorites, lose at home. Now, the team that loses at home does have a record 2 games better than the team that lost on the road to the same team. But when they played head-to-head, the rivalry games, the other team won twice. Who had a better season, Will?
Okay. Packers fans, this is not about you. Aaron Rodgers, that was amazing. He's incredible, all that. You got the win. It's about these two guys. Let me tell you something. Okay, that's asinine analysis. The season was not a failure. And a man that starts the season out saying that they will be last place in the NFC East and holds and maintains that position throughout midway through the season is one whose credibility on whether or not the season is a failure or not has very little weight.
Not fair.
Very little
I may
weight.
be slow, but I'm not stupid. I changed halfway through the season.
This is a season.
Adjust expectations.
They were 4-12. They had a 9-game improvement. They lost their starting quarterback before the season began. They went 13-3, tying the rookie record for wins, and yes, went to the divisional round of the playoffs, where they lost.
They went to the divisional round.
That is a disappointment. That is not a fair. Yeah, divisional round, by the way.
Yeah.
Divisional.
How many playoff games did they win,
Giants lost in the
Will?
wild card. Just
as usual.
Be clear, they lost in the wild card.
They pretty much hit their average.
Why are we talking about the Giants?
They pretty much hit their average of not winning a playoff game. They did it again. And by the way, Aaron Rodgers, look, I feel for you because, yes, Jason Garrett made some bad decisions. It probably cost him the game, although he did other things as a coach that brought them to, the precipice of winning a single playoff game, whatever. But I feel for you because I remember as a Knicks fan, there were early years before Jordan was squad up, right, before he had a real crew, where I felt the Knicks on paper had a better team and you just couldn't beat Michael Jordan. That's Aaron Rodgers. He is better than perfect. He does everything right. Plus,
he's amazing.
And Dallas didn't have an answer.
The only thing you can do is keep the man off the field. I don't even think it's the defense's fault. What can you do with Aaron Rodgers?
That's what I would be most angry about.
The only thing you can do is keep him off the field.
It's not running the ball.
First drive of the game, 3rd and 2. What do? We threw it into double coverage with Des Bryant, and it doesn't go. And
why'd they clock the ball? With 35, leaving Aaron Rodgers 35 seconds, you clocked the ball instead of using a timeout. That's a mistake.
Dak's interception, 2nd and 1. Didn't run the ball, throwing it again. when the man is averaging 6 yards a carry. But
isn't Stephen A.
back to
right?
this.
Isn't Stephen A. right?
No,
They beat themselves.
You're arguing they did it to
An
themselves.
accident waiting to happen. They beat themselves.
Let me do this. This accident waiting to happen. I've said it. You know it's coming. It's the weakest and worst prediction on all of sports. It's the biggest fraud perpetuated on these poor people that tune into this program of all time. Because
But it's
31 teams.
accurate.
For 31 teams every year, Molly.
For the
for the Cowboys
for
every
the Cowboys
year.
every year, it's accurate.
For one team
Let
every
me
year.
ask you this. What would you...
Giants have won 2 Super Bowls recently.
Not qualified as an accident waiting to happen. Coaching decisions, fumbles, interceptions, the ball bouncing the wrong way, any of it works into your argument. Literally, anything under the kingdom of God would work into your accident waiting to happen.
Unless you win a playoff game.
Any of it.
Unless you win a Super Bowl.
And therefore, you get 31 teams every year to prove you right, while you root for 5 different teams to wear a jersey out here. And I know you don't understand how I feel, because you have 5 teams. I know you don't understand it.
You finished?
No, I'm just taking a break.
I have one.
Well, you're taking a break because you keep trying to come up with something to evade
I think
the
I'm doing a
bigger
pretty
point.
good job.
You're not. You're not. It's actually quite pathetic to watch. That's why I'm enjoying it so much. I mean, really what it comes down to, Will, is this. We're talking about 21 years I've been saying this. See, you keep talking about, 5 different teams, or there's 31 other teams. No. 21 years.
A lot of years.
I have said it. I have been right, number one. Number two, your argument doesn't hold water. You know why? Because even though you said there's 31 other options that I may have and what have you, you said I was wrong. And you have yet to be right. The fact of the matter is that you have every reason to agree with me, but you wouldn't. Despite the obvious, I didn't sit up there and say the Dallas Cowboys would lose. I said it would be their fault. They would
You
get
said
in the way.
they would win the division and get in their own way.
I said,
You did say that.
I sat up there and I said they're going to continue to
Gentlemen,
build
we do have to
themselves
get a break
and be
here.
in a position of prosperity, and then they will plummet and break your heart. And right now, you're sitting on this right here. You got a broken heart. Look at your
Just a
face.
small
Look at your face. Look at the camera.
Yeah, last thing.
Zoom in on
Let's
him.
let Will have
Look
the
at
last
you.
word,
You
and
go
then
ahead.
we'll move on.
You can have it.
You're
You can
welcome.
have it.
Thank you, Molly.
You can have it.
I
Go
just
ahead.
think
It's
so
all yours.
disrespectful of you. It's so
Yes.
disrespectful.
Yeah.
You come out here wearing that jersey.
Yeah.
Months and years of saying what a bad man, and then you take all credit away from him by saying it's the Dallas Cowboys. You give him no credit.
No.
You've taken it all away by saying it's a black cat
Okay.
that walked across the Cowboys.
If you
franchise
remember-
path.
On that note,
If you remember, I was in
Last
Dallas.
thing.
I was in
Molly
Dallas.
wants to go
last
so
thing.
bad.
Listen.
Yeah.
I wore an Aaron Rodgers jersey in Dallas doing First Take.
Okay.
Remember
On
that.
that note, Will, there's a lot to be optimistic about. I truly believe that for your team.
I do
We'll
too.
get into that later, and I'm
Till the
looking
playoffs
forward to
roll
that
around.
conversation.
Okay.